What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? A great Sunday morning here. I see the chat moving a little bit, talking about things, talking about The Big Short. It's a great movie. I've watched that multiple times. Also talking about the 9th, when short interest gets announced to what their actual short interest and interest percentage. Are you related to Tyler Perry? I'm not related to Tyler Perry. I don't think I am. My family is from down south, but I don't think I'm related to Tyler Perry. There's a possibility, but I'm pretty sure it's not. There's a bunch of people that have the last name Perry. No Pants Gang. You can't tell. You don't know. It is No Pants Gang. Hello. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? What's all of your hopes for next week? Or technically this week, if you count it Sunday to Saturday instead of like Monday to Sunday. You gonna miss Drew Brees? Yeah, of course. I'll miss Drew Brees. Great quarterback. Just doesn't have the arm strength, so yeah, I'll miss him. Have his jersey, so I'm cool with it. Morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for becoming a welcome addition to my morning routine. I appreciate that. I'm here for everyone, just to, one, to be able to create that community and just talk to people, and two, to give you some information. Thoughts on Zom? I do have that up on my Webull platform, so I will go through that. I have 1,500 shares at 75 cents. Yeah, I'll make sure to go through that. Just ask that later on, and once we get into the actual detail, then yeah, I can talk about that. Let's get Dogecoin to $1. I'm not really a crypto fan. Like I said before, I want to get into crypto, but don't really know the steps I'm going to take in order to get into it, because it's a little volatile, a little too volatile for me. Your insights on AMC this week, I'll definitely go through that. That's one of the big talking points, because I have 1,600 shares in AMC, so yeah. I was mad I was losing money at AMC, and I sold my shares to make up for some losses. I think they went down $2 per share. Craziness. Yeah, the whole thing is just absolutely crazy. I think I've seen it on one of his videos, but he makes so many. What are you talking about? You're talking to Robert Lang? Who's Robert Lang? What do you think of Vine? I've seen somebody talk about Vine. I haven't looked it up, but I can definitely look it up. I'll add that to my list here, and we could talk about it. But mainly want to focus on AMC and GME, but I will go through some stuff. Let me add it to. I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Nope, I don't want to add that to new. Popular right now. Shoot. Okay. I'll put that there. Keep that on AMC. So yeah, that'll be something that we talk about here. Not gonna get into crypto right now. Zom Gang, I have Zom. I will go through that. Thoughts on Naked, I'll go through that as well. I think I have that on my. Yeah, I do. I have that on there, so I'll do that. Yikes! I had 1,600 shares of AMC, but using a margin account, that's 50% dip from Monday to Tuesday caused the margin call, and I lost everything. That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. This is why I don't like to trade on margin, because if you do get, if you do have that large dip where you expect an increase, it's not going to be something that's good for you, right? Because they're going to have that margin call, or possibly not having a margin call, and you still lose a ton more money. So yeah, Trades talked about Vine. I did see that he talked about Vine. Subscribe to him. He has some good technical analysis. Should reach $3 to $3.50 by the end of the month. What do you think about $20 price target on $2 million call? Optimistic or realistic? I mean, I think it could be. I think it's optimistic. You know what? Sorry, I think it's realistic because I believe that it will get to $20 because this is AMC. I don't believe has had its real pop yet, and that pop is going to be somewhere between that $20 and $50 range. I don't think it's going to go above 50, but you're going to see that pop sooner or later as the interest percentage goes up, and also the interest rate that they're paying on this goes up as well. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit to get there because it's slowly depleting, but you're seeing that slow dip to have that fast rise eventually. So yeah, I think it's realistic. Optimistic would be something where you're pulling into it to get to like $50 within that time period. That would be. We're talking about crypto. I'm down on GME and AMC and Dogecoin. Ironically, the only things that keeping me in the green, I think, is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, whatever's working for you. Everybody has their own strategy. Mark King. Everybody has their own strategy. So whatever's working for you actually is good for your situation. So continue to invest in those areas like Doge, like whatever crypto you actually are investing in. I think that shows that you can't really just copy like one person's strategy or just take the opinions of a bunch of other people and do something with that and think that's going to be positive. No, take your own strategy and run with it. A reason I'm mad at Robinhood is because they took the ability to average down as I was trading the channel for $1 bumps on AMC. I ended up losing $2,500. Keep up the good work, Matt. Well, that sucks that you lost $2,500. Yeah, it really sucks, everything that Robinhood did. I hated the fact that they restricted trading, and I understand sort of exactly why that could happen with the full restriction of trading, right? Because with all of these free brokers, it's very difficult to muster up the capital in order to fund all that. So I understand where they're coming from. And have to build that capital, $3 billion, I believe they needed, and then also slow down trading, slowly restrict trading. But it definitely did put a halt on everybody's situation. And Robinhood, with everything that they did, it was pretty bad. So it sucks that you lost $2,500, and you just accepted your losses then, and just you're not investing back into AMC, or you're going to invest into something else. Let me know. But thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that a lot. What price do you think GME will reach? $500 or more? That's definitely hard to say. A lot of people say that it still has that pop that's coming up. Everybody's all the news sources are talking about the fact that it's over and it's going to get worse, or it's going to get worse for retail traders. But I don't believe that it will. I mean, you still have a high percentage of shares that are shorted. And you still have a not crazy high short interest that way they would be paying, but they do have a high short interest, and they still would have to pay the short interest. It's not 220% from what I've seen in the past. But yeah, I think that it'll get close to it. I believe the 400 mark is probably more in a realistic territory, but between 300 and 400, if that was, if we did have that large pop, if somehow they didn't find a way to suppress it. Who's that person behind you? There's no one behind me. That's always scary whenever someone says that. So it's awesome though. As I watch those videos, it's awesome. If it was a person behind me, it would be my child or my wife. It wouldn't be the baby because she can't walk. Do I have a Discord? I don't have a Discord. I plan on creating some things later down the line. I also plan on creating a membership program to YouTube if you wanted to sign up for that. It's probably only going to be like $1. And then they'll have different levels to it, to where I'll give my stock picks and maybe some longer term stocks, some dividends, some things like that, or stocks of the week only for members. So we'll see how that goes. GME to the moon or nah? I wouldn't say to the moon. It depends what your definition to the moon is. I believe that it's going to push up a lot. We still have that large pop in here, and a lot of people are underestimating, the short positions that the hedge funds have and the short interest that's going to take into account. So I believe that I mean, we are going to see that increase, but again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. It's merely just my opinion. So I'm just a guy on YouTube, right? Any thoughts on OTLK? Is that something that was growing a lot? I could check it out real quick. OTLK. I don't really want to do a crazy analysis on it, but let's look at it from a 10,000 foot view. 10,000 foot view, it looks like it increased quite a bit in the last couple of days. Had a steady line. It is above the 200 EMA, obviously, because it has that quick jump, which means that it may be a symbol to buy into. Just be wary of that coming back aggressively. You can see how fast it can come back, but yeah, I mean, I think it definitely could be a buy opportunity. Looking at a quick glance, you see a lot more buys than sells when it comes to, like I said, the 10,000 foot view. So I don't want to go into crazy detail. I will add it to my list though, just to watch some stocks, and then obviously as I go, some of these stocks will be taken off the list. But yeah, that's my quick opinion of it. It does look like it's been overbought a couple of times, but even though it's been overbought, it had that quick pullback here, and then it started to have that increase, and basically up to around the same point. So yeah, good position at a first glance. If you're stressing your losses, you shouldn't be playing this game. You're probably right. I think that if you are stressing your losses, then that money is supposed to be going somewhere else. And if it is supposed to be going somewhere else, then you need to, look at your situation and say, look, I need to get out of here, limit my losses, and pay my bills, because that's what it's all about. If you could, make sure you hit that like button, get it over 100 likes. We have 500 people in here. Please hit that like button. Thanks for the video on monthly dividends earlier today. By the way, holding 260 shares of AMC at $9.50, considering to sell. You're considering to sell at when it gets up to $9.50, or now? Right now, I think would kind of be a horrible time to sell, in my opinion. I'm sitting at a cost basis of $9.56, so we're right around the same point, and I'm going to be holding on at least until I see it resist some different levels. So I need to look at the chart, look at the pre-markets, look at how it's moving, and see what happens, especially on February 9th, just to see all of the detail here before I make my decision to get out. I don't think that it's a huge situation for me to stay in here. Every dollar that it gains, I gain $1,600. So every dollar that it loses, I'm losing $1,600. But I'm looking at it as the glass half full, and I believe that it's going to increase. Crypto all the way to the moon. You ruined a 69 like. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry about that. That would have been funny. Let's get it to 690 then. Or how about you get it to 6? Would be amazing. Not considering to sell. That's good. Hold on to it. It depends wherever you're at. Hold on to it. I believe that it will go up. Do you think AMC will drop more before the potential pop? It has a slight potential to drop, but I don't think. Looking at the history, let's continue to scroll over. So looking at the history, you really can't see it drop below that point of, let's say, $6. It's not going to drop below $6. It hasn't dropped below $6 besides this little wick right here, which probably was just an outlier, kind of like these that were in the post market. I don't believe it'll drop below that $6 mark. So yes, it could drop, but I don't see it dropping crazy unless it goes back to where it was normally, which, like before all of this, you see it somewhere around that $5 range. And then you're going to see a bigger pop, because this wasn't a big enough pop to partner with the short that we had. And the short interest keeps going up. The amount of shares that we're holding is a crazy amount. So I believe we're still going to have that pop. February 9th is when the short interest or when the short percentage gets announced, the updated short percentage. But yeah, AMC, I believe, will still have that pop somewhere to between above $20. I'm hoping that it gets to about $20. But if it shows a pullback, then I'll definitely look at my options, look at my indicators, and say should I sell at a certain point, set limit orders, and go from there. You keep talking about it like it's inevitable, but it could also not go to the moon. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people think that it's going to get up to that $100. It's going to break the amount that GME got to when it comes to AMC. But I 100% believe that the pop has not been seen yet for AMC. You can see that it got up to $25 really quick in the pre-market, right? Opened up, continued to get back up there, drove back up, and then ended up driving back up one more time, and then collapsed back down. Went up a little bit up to that $17 mark, and that's where it started to go downhill. So you're seeing this trail off, but once we get some positive news when it comes to the short percentage, and the short interest keeps going up, people keep buying at these lower prices, which doesn't make sense why anybody would sell. Yeah, there's something going on here, and it makes me think that the price is going to pop. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my opinion. So I'm just a guy on YouTube. If they run a Super Bowl ad, what prices could we see? What increases could we see? Well, any news could be taken as positive or negative. So you can look at someone hiring a CFO or CEO or whatever as positive or negative. So we can expect a move of a couple dollars just from that news alone, whether it's up or down. But I don't believe it's going to push the $6 mark. So if you are going to see a move down, it will be to like the $5 mark, and then pop up maybe $2 or $3 or $4 or so. But yeah, I mean, I think we could potentially see a pop if that's the case, but I don't think they're going to run a Super Bowl commercial, like an ad there. That's paying for a lot to do. You're paying for an ad to something that's really not open. So yeah. Doge Super Bowl ad. I don't know about that. Can you pop up GME as well? GME had some potential towards the end of the day. What a lot of people said was this 49, it was going to stay around that $49. As we go into the 1 day chart, you can see that it had that crazy pop that was there. And if you didn't know my situation, I bought into GME at $76, hoping for a quick turnaround to where it would have gotten to 79. And it did get to about 79, but I didn't get sold out of my position. The same thing happened here with where I was at 79, and I actually put a limit order for $96 and even 2,000. But it only got to 95, resisted the 90 at 95, and didn't go up to 96. So I held my position, and obviously it went down quite a bit. This trail off just didn't really make sense to me. It did flatten out, but then towards the post market, you've seen it go up to 72, which is definitely a good sign. Having that increase with the lower volume, staying above the 200 EMA is definitely a good sign. Now it is right on line with the 200 EMA at the end of the day. So it's all on what we get on the pre-market or in the pre-market. So hopefully we get some great news here. Some positive news, but if it does get above that $100 mark, it's going to sell off, probably including me, just because I'm going to hold a limit order of $96 to gain that even 2,000. I'm not looking to gain a ton. GME was something that I wasn't supposed to. I'm looking at some Super Bowl questions. I'll give you an answer to that, Bobby Jr. in a little bit. But GME was something that I was supposed to have a short-term gain with. And it wasn't money that I was comfortable with holding for a long period of time. But obviously now I'm holding for a couple of days, which I don't really hold overnight. So yeah, it would be a $2,000 profit. I'm happy with that. And then I can go on about my day. AMC is supposed to be longer term unless it hits that $20 mark to where I'll gain a significant amount of money and go on about my day with my gains. So yeah, but if it does get up, I'm pretty sure if AMC gets above like $15 or if it really skyrockets, it's going to start to sell off at a lot of points. Basically seeing that it's probably going to be overbought during those time periods because it has to go up a significant amount. Basically like 100% if it does. So To answer your question, Bobby, I am going for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And even though they're in my division, the New Orleans Saints division, I am a fan of seeing the GOATs basically break records more. So like I love Tiger Woods. I like the fact that he breaks records and continues to break records. Right now he's really breaking his back. But that's the only reason. And I don't like Bill Belichick more than I don't like Tom Brady. So the fact that Tom Brady is in the Super Bowl again without Bill Belichick means that it's him, that puts everything together. And everybody says, oh, well, you know what? The Patriots could have been good without Brady there. And you're probably right. They could have been good without Brady there. But Brady's not there now, and they're not good. So I'm not a fan of Tom Brady. I'm just happy that he got out of that Patriots situation to where people can see him, in a new light, not hiding behind all of the other stuff. But yeah, I don't want to turn this into something else. Yeah, I think Tiger Woods is the best athlete of all time. You're right. Do you think there's any chance that a stat coming out a ninth could the stat coming out in the ninth could be bought? You're basically saying like they'll rig the stat so that people can, or they'll make a mistake, intentionally make a mistake on that and say that the short percentage is like 10%, and they go, oh no, you know what? It needed to be adjusted. It was not 10%. That was the wrong figure, and then then people start to sell off seeing that 10% figure. I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, anything really could be rigged. But I don't like to go into life thinking like that, like go into my days thinking that things are rigged against me, which everyone knows that they are. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to think about that. I don't want to think about that, but it's tough to think about that. Bolt is the fastest man alive. Yes. Are we getting into sports things here? What's happening? What's the long-term potential for AMC? I think the long-term potential, it really depends what they do here and what they take advantage of. Right now, they paid off a lot of their debts from what I heard. So if they did do that, then they can revamp a lot of their movie theaters, get things done. I know they have added like some lounge chairs, some things that make people want to go to these movie theaters. And I like the fact that they're doing that. The only thing is they need to bring down prices of like popcorn and all that other stuff. So I think the long-term potential is definitely good for AMC with the fact that they did pay off their debt. I think it will be higher than the price it started at, which I believe was like $3. Let me see, 1 month, which I believe was like, yeah, $3 or so. So I think that the potential is going to be somewhere around maybe that $10, I don't know, $12 range. It depends what they actually do. They haven't put out any great news besides the fact that they were paying off some debt. So we just need to look at this as time goes on. It definitely could seem like a long-term potential. If you bought in at the $2 mark, yeah, it will finish above that, Let's see. I've got paper hands. I don't have paper hands. I can't say that I get. Most people that have paper hands, whenever you think of the term paper hands, people are thinking, hold on to the stock forever, right? And you have diamond hands. If you don't hold on to the stock forever, you have paper hands. Paper hands just means if they start to manipulate the market to look like it's an artificial sell, and you're now losing money, and you continue and you end up selling because you're losing money, that's considered paper hands. If you average down and then lower that cost basis and then end up selling with a profit, that's not paper hands. That's just being smart. And if you wanted to make money out of it, then make money out of it. But a lot of times it's great to see the lows and buy it. It's great to see the lows and buy at the lows and then sell at those highs, because it's all about making money too. It's not about just enjoying the movement, because we can support the movement while making money as long as it doesn't go below their initially shorted price, if that makes sense. So if the graph is rigged and manipulated, so more things will be rigged. Yeah, you can never predict what's actually going to be rigged. They're not going to come out and say, hey, you know what, I rigged this. They're not going to come out and say, I am manipulating the market in my favor. They're not going to say that. So you never really know, but the only thing you could do is speculate. So when we see a ton of buying power and a number of people holding the stock, it means that no matter if people are selling, you see a crazy amount of people that are holding it with a low amount of shares outstanding, or low-ish. And then the price should either stay the same or go up. You know, it should remain equal or go up. It shouldn't be something that's doing these dives. Strategically placed sells end up getting you in the right place for a hedge fund or anybody that's shorting it. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. How do you say that? Sib, I can't say that. I'm sorry. Sibson Ion. All right. Ford. I do like Ford as a dividend payer. I had Ford for quite some time. I believe it's in my brother's account too. Multi-billion-dollar investors do it. Yeah. I mean, when you have the money to be able to do it, they do it. They manipulate the market, and that's just how it goes. Now, is it crazy to where they manipulate the market to where you know, it's blatant? Sort of, but not really. Like, they're not going to do that. It's something to where you can call a couple of things out here and there, but it's nothing that you can build a whole case on. AMC and GME equal parable. Okay. The hedge fund shorted the stock on the way down from the last price increase. Look up stock. Okay. Parabolic stocks and low volume pullback. I will look up that. Parabolic stocks, and shorting parabolic stocks is not for the faint of heart, but at the same time it offers a huge parabolic low float. Stocks are famous for their runaway short squeeze. Buyers are getting less aggressive and pushing the price up. Okay. Sorry. Traders often attribute the pullback to a week-long locking profits. That's interesting. But, you know, even that is speculation at times. But yeah, it seems interesting. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I have to take that into account. Shorting parabolic I can't even say it. Parabolic stocks. Wow, that's interesting. Come on, Tiger Woods is not the best athlete of all time. Yes, he is. Thoughts on he literally is the only. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to get into that. ASTI. What's ASTI? Is it something that has been popular lately? I'm not going to add it to my popular list just to. That is for the amount of, that's short term. So it started at 0.0. I don't really like to get into crazy penny stocks. Now, penny stocks, yes, can be anything under $5, right? But I don't like to get into anything that's, you know, crazy low, because the pullback is definitely insane on these. But you look at it compared to the 200 EMA, and it is pulling well above it, which means it's a buy opportunity, and definitely has the price action on the 50 moving average, which would tell me that the price is going to increase at that time. So it's definitely interesting. It's an interesting buy if you are looking to gain a lot out of it. But really, it all depends on the volume that you will see here, which you have 130 million shares that are bought. But at this point, it says that it is being overbought, so you might want to see it increase a little bit, probably come back to the 200 EMA or close to that, somewhere around like what this point did. But yeah, it's definitely tough to say here. Just at a quick glance, it has had short history, nothing that's crazy history. It was at 0.001 cents. Sorry if you hear banging, my child is up there banging. But yeah. Definitely could be a buy opportunity for you if you wanted to throw a couple of dollars in here and gain some sort of profit. But it's not something that I want to focus on. How's the news on the 9th going to affect the GME? Well, it just depends. If it's a high amount of interest or amount of shorted shares, then yes, it's going to affect it in a positive way for us, not a positive way for them. If it's a low percentage, then that's where people start to say, all right, the squeeze is not going to happen. Let's get out of this. And you'll see the stock price not plummet, because obviously it can't go too much further, but it will go down. And then I don't know if, you know, retail investors or retail traders will buy into this thinking that it is going to, you know, push up. And especially at that lower price, if it does come back with a lower percentage, you still have retail traders that want to push up the price and gain money from it. So it still could go up, but I think initially you'll see that negative news. I bought 50 shares of ET stock for dividends. Is that a good stock? Let's look at what the stock shows. So let's look at the stock first before we look at the dividend, because I can see the dividend up there, but it is a $6 stock, so it's not something that's crazy. What am I doing here? So I want to look at a 10,000 foot view. The overall stock itself looks solid, right? You have a lot of volatility here. It's not anything that's, you know, crazy to where it's just going skyrocketing up or skyrocketing or dropping down. You know, that's not what you want to see in a position when you buy into it, because a lot of times the dividends that you want to make from it is just a part of what you want. So you want the dividends for a long term, but you also want to sell it for a profit. Now, if you could sell it for a profit and do both of those, that's obviously the ultimate goal. But if you gain a lot of dividends that make up for that profit, then you really just held a stock to break even for a long period of time, which is not good, which means that the value of your dollar went down with inflation depending how long you held it. So a lot of times you want this stock to have an increase and continue to go up. So the 10,000 foot view looks good. The 100,000 foot view looks good as well. It just doesn't look like something that increases over a long period of time. It's mainly staying flat as you start to look at this. Now at these points you can see that, you know, it is a time to buy where it is over this 200 EMA, but then once it gets under, it would seem like it's a time to sell. But you do have that increase there. So which shows with the 50 EMA, it shows why, you know, that you are going to have that increase. But if I was looking at just the dividend yield is 0.61%. That's not the best dividend possible, but it is a low. You would expect to see something higher with a low price like that. But if you're looking to gain a dividend, it is a low price. So to start gaining dividends there is definitely good. You know, I would say that that's a good position to be in, to start with any dividend stock, because it does look like it's not something that will collapse immediately, and it does look like something that will recover in due time. So it can get down to this $4 mark, but it will recover, and it's very solid, very solid. At one point it's above this, so really, yeah, very solid over a long term or a long period of time. So yeah, it's not bad. I always like dividend paying stocks, but then like I said, I like to gain something out of it as well. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Luke. If AMC and GME had an incoming squeeze, what is your best guess that would be a realistic squeeze? Of course, not financial advice, just looking for your opinion. So GME, I expect another squeeze, but I don't expect it to be something that we've seen in the past, because they stopped the squeeze by restricting trading. In the past, you wouldn't have stopped the squeeze because of the fact that you had a number of brokerage accounts that would charge you to make that trade and make that sell. So a lot of money is coming in the door from retail traders to be able to use as that capital. But right now, we can't, with all of the trading platforms offering $0 commissions. It makes it difficult for them, especially since they have to go through, you know, clearinghouse and all that stuff, right? So it took away the initial pop, which the pop I believe was supposed to be up to like $1,000, probably even more than that. So this next pop, I'm believing that it will be around that 300 mark, and that's my opinion. But like I said, I'm selling around the $96 mark, because this is not something that I wanted to do for a longer period of time. It was supposed to be a one-day thing for me for GME. Now for AMC, the same thing goes with that pop. We were taken aback by the fact that they had the restrictions on the trading, and then they continued to restrict them at low levels. It wasn't something that was they had the restriction for one day, No, they had a restriction for 1 day. Then they brought back the stocks and only let you buy a couple of shares, which technically is a restriction as well. Then they brought back the stock as well with a larger amount of shares. So like I think you could buy like 100 of AMC and like 1 or 2 or something of GME. Then they restricted it a little bit less by offering like 1,200. So no matter what, you had those restrictions that brought down the price. Now they lifted restrictions, which you should see a lot of people buy, but the problem is that we're holding a lot of the shares. So my thought for the price of AMC in the short term is definitely going to be around the $20 mark. And I like to go with even numbers, with those round numbers, especially since I invested at like $10. I would like to get to the $20 mark to where I sell off and gain whatever profit I would gain. So that would be my realistic targets. But again, like you said, it's not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I ask that you guys hit that like button. We have 1,300 people in here. If you could hit the like button, that would be amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. So he doesn't think it will go to 300. I don't think AMC will go to 300. I think GME will go to 300. I'm selling at 90 because I wasn't supposed to get into it. The AMC money is something that I'm comfortable with losing. The GME money is not something that I'm comfortable with losing. I can lose 10,000, but I'm not going to lose, 18,000. That's what I don't want to have happen. That's why I am looking to pull back on the GME money. But a lot of people are saying, hey, you should sell. Do you need a chat moderator? I don't think at this moment I need a chat moderator, but maybe in the future. Yeah, but GME is definitely tricky because I don't want to sit here and look like I'm just selling out at a lower price target when I say the price is going to go higher. I just don't want to wait for that. I will cover it, and I could put that money into something else that's more short term. The problem is that I only want to keep a certain amount in my Fidelity account, and I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did, because a lot of the extra money goes into like my Roth IRA or 529 accounts or things like that. So I like to put a lot of the gains into there, and then obviously I would pay taxes on the gains at the end of the year, but still. What do you think about AMC? What do I think it will go to? I think it will be between that $20 to $25 mark if we do see that pop. We should see that pop. OCGN, I did an analysis on OCGN. I think I'm uploading it today. But it's very quick. It's a very quick movement. I'm trying to think of when it's going to be actually released. I don't want to release it before it looks like it's going to be, come on, give me the time. I think it's going to be 12 o'clock. So yeah, 12 o'clock, I'm going to release that analysis there on OCGN. I don't want to prematurely go through this, but my quick analysis would be that it's sort of risky, but the trend line shows that it is moving up. It's just a very quick movement to say whether it is going to stay up there. And the fact that it has been solid over a couple of days, and yes, it does decrease a little bit, and then have that crazy pop is ridiculous. OCGN, I think, it's interesting. What happened on Friday is definitely interesting. If you could hit that like button, please do so. Where are we at? Thoughts on AMC ceiling? Are you in cryptocurrency? I'm not in cryptocurrency, but the AMC ceiling for me, I believe the ceiling, the absolute ceiling that we can get to is that $50 mark. I don't think we're going to pass by that. That's my opinion. If you're talking about a realistic ceiling, I definitely would say no higher than 35 if that's a realistic ceiling. But obviously you start to get past that and you say, well, if it hits 35, what's stopping it from going to 50? What's stopping it from going to 100? And that's 100% logical. I understand where you're coming from. But I'm just always trying to give it a realistic ceiling or a realistic price target. This is why I always say I'll sell at 20, I'll sell at 25. But obviously we have to go through go through that time. We have to see exactly what's going to happen when it comes to the pre-market. But it is going to be off the short sale restriction list, which doesn't really do too much. The short sale restriction list really just makes it difficult for hedge funds to short stocks, and they can continue to short it. They have a workaround for that. Retail traders can't really do it as easy. HITIF is going to blow up this year. Not financial advice. That's interesting. I want to see how that looks right now. Oops. HITIF. So yeah, the problem that I see with that is like it has these gaps, these huge gaps, you know, where it gapped up from here to here, got to a price target. I don't know. It's tough to say. I'll have to keep watching it. It is above the 200 EMA, but I have to keep watching it. The fact that it's so volatile and there's so many sell-off points is crazy to me, you know, and large sell-off points without actually having the large positive point, if that makes sense. So if you have the large green candlestick and then the large red candlestick, that makes sense. But with the huge gap and then sell, it's very volatile in short period of time. So that's actually I thought that was a one minute. Never mind what I just said. I thought that was a 1 minute. Yeah, you might be right. It has a slow gain to it. Yeah, it has a slow gain to it. You can see all of it, but it does have a lot of gaps in between. I don't ever like seeing those gaps, but yes, you're probably right. It could increasing 33% in the market open. That's definitely a good deal. But yeah, I would stay away from this until I see something a little more clear. It does have an uptrend, which makes it solid. It's less than $1. It doesn't hurt to put any type of money in here and see it grow. You know, if you had something you started at like 50 cents and you've seen it grow, you put $10 in there, you're going to see that money grow. So that's always a good thing. But you might be right. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Bag Boy. I bought 20 call options of AMC at $13.24, expiring March 5th. Recover losses and hold. Recover losses and hold. Financial advice, or not financial advice. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're asking a question here, but you're telling me to recover. I'm sorry. I'm not getting this. I need some commas and some punctuation here because trying to figure this out. But you recovered your losses from you have $20 call options at $13.24 for March 5th. I don't know how long it'll stay up in that $20 mark, and hopefully, you know, March it goes out that long and that we have a consistent movement up and down for a long period of time, because then that makes it a day trading opportunity. Instead of just looking at it as something that's unpredictable, it ends up being something that's predictable. So that might be interesting. We have 1,500 people in here. Please hit that like button if you have time to do so. Get it above. I would love to get it above 500 likes. That would be amazing. What's the name of the software you're using? This is Webull 4 desktop. So if you go into Webull, I have a link down below. Click that link, sign up. If you deposit $100, you get free stocks. And you just go to downloads, and then it'll have the desktop version. And it's an amazing platform. I mean, for the fact that it's free and you get all this stuff. Now, if you wanted to use the order book, I think it is. If you wanted to use other portions of this, you have to I'm probably blocking this with my head. Yeah, if you wanted to use other portions of this, you have to actually buy into it. So there's portions to where you can see where it's being overbought, where it's being, or where the buys are coming in at. You can see that where the sells are coming in at. There's a lot of other things that you can buy into, end up buying into second part of the software, level 2 of the software, right? So yeah. But it's Webull. I love the platform. Respect the Doge pump. Matt, it's over here giving us AMC bag holders hope. I don't believe that's true. I mean, AMC did not even get close to hitting a pop yet. And you look at the interest percentage, the short interest percentage is actually going up. And we just need to wait until we see what the actual short percentage is. But, you know, it doesn't make sense that they didn't hit a large increase there. Yes, they started at $3 or started at $2 or whatever and pushed up to about $25. But I think the increase should have been a lot larger, you know? So yeah, I mean, we just wait for February 9th. If you're interested in how this is going to go and you have the money to, you know, do all this rather than, you know, pay your bills or whatever, obviously you don't want to partner this with paying your bills. So you don't want to say, I'm taking this money away from paying my bills. I'm saying that if this is money that's play money, then use that money towards this and, you know, hold it. It doesn't hurt. But again, not financial advice. I'm holding it. So I'm not saying that you follow me, but I am holding it. I'm going to continue to hold until it hits a certain point to where I see it resisting back. Can you look at ALPP? ALPP, what's ALPP? So looking at that, $7.30 per share. It did rise 32%, closed at above 32%, which is definitely good. This is just Friday from what we're looking at, right? I mean, I see steady increase here. You just got to figure out where the lows are that you can invest in, but I definitely see steady increases here. I want to look at the 10,000, 100,000 foot view. So yeah, again, steady increases over the last 3 months. It's not something that only started the last month. Yes, you've seen a large increase the last few days, but you know, you're going to see those lows go below the 50 EMA or 50 MA, and yeah, those points that are overbought, you can look at the RSI and see that they are overbought at this point, but even the price still ended up increasing at that point. So obviously as it goes on, it's going to start to readjust, but right now it's definitely being overbought. It's interesting though. It has solid movement. If you wanted to invest something in it, it doesn't hurt to do so. Low price. It is moving quite a bit. You just want to make sure you look for that dip, because there hasn't been a dip in a while. So there's going to be something that pulls back maybe to $6 or closer to $5. So if it's going to continue to go up and stay on that trend, you do have, let's see, let's draw something here. Trend line. Let's draw something from, let's see if there's points here. Couple of touch points here. There's a couple of touch points here of a support level. So yeah, that's definitely an interesting position. I wouldn't say that I would focus in on it. There's a lot more positions that might be better. Sorry about that. I meant I bought 20 options at $13.25 expiring March 5th to recover losses while holding 2K in stock. What do you think about TEL? What do you think about TEL? Let's look at. Again, more positivity above that 200 EMA line. It probably has a bunch of touch points here of, let's see, a couple of touch points as it starts to go up. You have that ascending level of support here. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely moving up. I like the fact that you do have that increase from looking at it, you know, 100,000 foot view of this position. And the increase, it looks like it's probably going to pull back from that $4 mark once it does get up there. You're seeing that slow increase rather than the rapid increase, which is definitely a better sign than the rapid increase. Rapid increase means that people are probably going to end up selling off. It's being overbought at that point, and then they're going to sell off quite a bit because people are happy with their gains. But with slow buys, that means people are buying and buying and buying, and there's not going to be a massive sell-off because people are buying at the higher tiers or closer to the high point. So you might see a little bit of a pullback somewhere around this mark. So whenever you do get into this, you might see a pullback somewhere up here. But I think it will eventually pass that with the trend that is actually moving over the last 3 months from $1.20 all the way up to $4.38. So yeah, I think it's it's going to be a good buy. You just got to really see where that pullback is. And this might obviously be the pullback. you might be looking at this as the pullback, and once it gets into the pre-market, it's going to pop up a little bit again, and maybe get close to this high right here, and then pull back a little bit, and then surpass that. So it just depends on what happens in the pre-market, but that might be the pullback. There might be a little bit more, but that might be the pullback. So definitely looks like it might be a good time to get in. Close to it, you can see right here. Yeah, definitely looks like it might be close to a good time to get in. Like even here, good time to get in. You have a good increase here. So yeah, interesting. We have 1,500 people in here. Please hit that like button if you could. Get it above 500 likes. That would be amazing. HCMC will go to the moon. I think I looked at that. All right, well, let's look at AMC and GME. You are on GME at $76. Why didn't you get out at 90? This is the problem. So I get a little bit greedy. Sometimes I get greedy, and I learn from these mistakes. I learned in the past not to get greedy and accept my target. My target price was only $80. It was technically $79. I was looking to gain $3 off of it. But I seen the potential of the movement, so I put my price up to 86 to gain an even 1,000. But then I seen the movement again, and before it got to 86, because it paused, right? Before it got to 86, I saw it and I was like, all right, I'm gonna push it to 96. I got greedy and wanted to get an even 2,000. And that was my mistake. You never get greedy, just accept the profit when you have your profit target. That's why you build these profit targets in the beginning. You don't just say, oh, well, what happens if it gets to this, if it gets to this? If it gets to your profit target, sell. That's the idea. Whenever you start to swing trade or day trade, you always need to have these targets, whether it's a stop loss or profit that you can get to. And I seen it pull back from a 95 because I set it to 96, and on the way down, it came down too aggressively. It came down really aggressive, and I think it stopped at like $79, where I was like, should I wait for it to pull back up because the buying power is really strong? And this is where I was just like, this is my original profit target. And then I started getting in my own head saying, oh, well, you know what? It's going to pull back up. You look at the 200 EMA, you look at the different indicators there, and it's basically saying that at this point it's being oversold. It wasn't, it was selling off slowly, and I just let it do it. So it's my mistake, and I learned from that mistake, and it will not happen. The thing about this is when you have your failures, you learn more from your failures than you do from successes. So I like the fact that I failed. I didn't enjoy it because I didn't want to hold on to that stock for a long time. I wanted to just hold on to it for a second. But yeah. I admitted that I'm a horrible investor. No, everybody makes mistakes, and everybody learns from those mistakes. And the point is that if you admit those mistakes, it makes you a better investor. I've learned over a longer period of time that if you do set your profit targets and you stick by those profit targets, then you'll be a better investor, a more profitable investor. But if you do get greedy at times, which it happens to everybody, when you see the potential growth, you do get greedy, you end up making mistakes. Then you learn from those mistakes. It brings you back down to earth and lets you understand, accept your profit targets. So that's where I'll know that I'll put a trailing stop on it for next time, and I'll accept what my original profit target will be. But my price that I want to get out of is $96. At this point, holding it for a long period of time makes that value of that money decrease, because I could have gained so much more in a shorter period of time. So that's why I'm pushing for the $96. But I appreciate anybody's comment, anybody's perspective, Evan. So thank you for saying what you said. It really brought out something else so that you can learn a little bit more. I hold 2,000 shares of a Monday. Oh, 2,000 shares Monday. Buy 1,000. Monday you're going to buy 1,000 of AMC. That's good. Can you discuss how the short data on Tuesday can assist the squeeze, and what is your opinion of how long the hedges will take to buy back? I would say how the short data can affect the squeeze is if we see anything that's positive to where it is a larger amount of shares that are shorted, then it's going to bring people back into it, saying that the squeeze is still a thing. We can still push this price up, And what they're trying to do is artificially push the price down by doing this. So they're still continuing to short, and then what they're doing is they're just adding on to that short, so it's going to make their position a lot worse and make our position a lot better. So then a lot of people are going to buy at these low prices, and you're going to see it just shoot up when it comes to the price. So a lot of people are going to be buying. Now, how long it will take for the hedge firms to buy back, it depends on what the actual percentage is. They may have been covering it this whole time, which we don't know. So if it is a higher percentage, then it will take them a longer time to cover it back, because of the fact that the price is going to skyrocket once you see the interest rate, or the interest rate and the actual short percentage. So it may take longer, but it also may be a short. It just really depends what February 9th tells us. So it's going to affect it in some way, whether it is a negative or a positive way. Either way, we still have a lot of retail traders on our side. And this is why I'm saying, if you're comfortable with any losses you have now, then go with it. For anybody that does, that is trading with money that they're not comfortable with losing, then, you know, accept your losses and go, because I don't want you to lose all of your money if this ends up being bad news on Tuesday. So thank you for the super chat, by the way. Can you please look into CLVS? How much growth potential does it have? See, I like doing stock analysis, but I like taking my time with the stock analysis, looking into more of the detail. A lot of these quick ones, I'm kind of shortchanging you a little bit, because I do a quick analysis on what's actually happening and the movement from a 100,000 foot view, and then dive into what happened on Friday, which looks to be a little bit ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as what OCGN did, but still. But you look at the potential here, it's still above the 200 EMA. I'm waiting for the RSI to load. So the RSI, I'm going to get into the RSI as I start to get into the last 5 days. It is above the 200 EMA, which means it is a buying opportunity by the standard definition. You do see a lot of growth here from the 100,000 foot view. It looks solid, doesn't look like it has too many crazy pullbacks, which is always a bad sign with anything that's lower priced. If you do have something that has a bunch of pullbacks, then that means it's unstable. The price is unstable, but it looks like the price may be a little bit stable, and you might be able to push this up a little bit. But as it starts to flatten out, that's where people start to get comfortable with that price. That's where the comfortability is. So if you do see this push up, it may still pull back to a comfortable price. So as I start to look into 5 days, let's look here. 5 days, you can see how comfortable people are in these last 5 days, and then just Friday, you know, really pushing up. And I don't know what news actually happened, or if someone really got into it, but you can see that the 50 MA passed the 200 EMA, which would indicate the split. You see the split, and it's pulling, or it's pushing it all the way up. So what do I expect for the future? That looks like a rapid increase. And any rapid increase means that you may have a just as rapid decrease. And it really just all depends how the post-market and pre-market go. If it does flatten out, and if it continues to flatten out, then you may see a sell-off at this like $9, $10 mark, but it won't sell off completely, I don't believe. It is starting to get closer to that 200 EMA line, but this definitely could be a buy opportunity. I think the long-term goal to this is probably to push that $10, $11 mark, and as time goes on, it may even push, you know, above 15. So it just really all depends. So I really like this position, the way that it's moving. If I seen this on Friday right from the start, that would have been something that I bought into, to see that rapid increase from $8 all the way up to $9.60, closing at $9.36. So yeah, I feel like I'm shortchanging you on the detail here, because I didn't get a chance to look into all of the information here. But even to this point, it shows that it's overbought, but doesn't even get down to the point to where it's oversold. So yeah, I thank you for the super chat. But yeah, that's my opinion on there. That looks good though. I love the split. I love seeing that split. And it looks like it went crazy on Friday. 17%. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I like doing different stock analysis. So the only thing is I like to take my time a little bit and really look at the different information. What's the short interest needed for AMC to pump? I believe the short interest. I'm not sure what the actual short interest is. The short percentage just needs to be higher. So I know the short interest is going up. The amount of shares that they're shorting, I heard that it's going up. I don't know the actual percentage. This is what we're gonna know on Friday, or not Friday, on Tuesday. So yeah, I think we just need to figure out that information, and then we can go from there. Hey Matt, have you seen Max Meyer's interview with C3 manager? Please do a video to share your thoughts. It was very interesting. I'll definitely look at that. Let me copy that. Hopefully he doesn't flag it, but I'll do a video sharing my thoughts on the side. That's a good idea. Let me put it in my notes here. Thank you for the super chat. I have not seen it, but I will check it out. What's up with cannabis? I hear a lot of people talk about cannabis, and I'm not really, I can't say I'm not really a fan. I'm a fan of anything that increases. So I'll have to look into it more. What are your thoughts on gaming and esports market? I have Capcom and any companies you think deserve to watch? I haven't actually looked into the gaming and esports market. That's really interesting. I think, do you see that as, I know they said they see it as a growing industry, especially with the pandemic and the amount of people buying gaming systems, and also staying home because of the pandemic. So a lot of people are getting into this and becoming streamers, which I like to game as well. So it's definitely interesting, and it's something that I would be happy researching because I love the gaming industry. The only thing that I'm getting into right now when it comes to the gaming industry is GameStop. And I don't know how they're gonna revamp their business, but they're hiring new executives and doing that. So I don't really have any thoughts right now. I would have to get back to you on those thoughts. Oh geez, starting to lose my voice a little bit, and I haven't even been talking that much. But yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting industry, and we have to really look into that. Oh, it's going away. It's going away. Let me put back to AMC. So yeah, the only thing about this is it updates this chart. It updates as you see these large wicks, and it shows it in a smaller form there. So if those are off the screen, then it looks a lot better. But yeah, Friday was pretty bad for AMC and GME. I mean, AMC only went down a little bit, you know. GME just had a massive sell-off here. You know, went up to, I believe it was like 50% or something, close to it, almost 100%. Jeez. It went up a lot and then came down, ended up finishing at what, 19%, and then up 4% in the pre-market or the post-market. Uh, 5,375 shares of AMC. Am I dumb for this? What price did you buy in at? If you bought at this low price, then no, because you can gain a decent profit out of it. That means you gain $5,375 every dollar that stock goes up. So with $2, you gain $10,000 easily. And I don't believe that this is going to shoot down for AMC. I don't believe it's going to shoot down like crazy. If you bought it at a lower price at like a $7 mark, I think you're good. I see a Bloomberg terminal data. No, I can't. For AMC posted on Reddit. I didn't see it. Did they post it? Because I tried to look at it myself, but I'm not subscribed to it, so I would have to look into that. Was it posted here? What did it say? Please tell me what it said. Can the SEC force GME short positions to close out by buying actual GME shares, or can the shorts just keep closing out using synthetic longs in perpetuity? That's an interesting take, and that goes kind of over my head, to tell you the truth. I don't know. Those are amazing thoughts, but I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I don't think they can force them to close out their shares. As long as they're willing to pay interest, they're not going to force them to close anything out. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Can you share your thoughts on ZOM? I hear a lot of people talking about this. I did add this to the list a little bit. I don't think I looked at it a lot. So ZOM, let's go back. So ZOM, let's look at a 3-month chart, 10,000 foot view. So it obviously had that rapid increase. And like I've always said, with any rapid increase, you see a rapid decrease. So it comes back to earth. It wasn't something that was going to continue to push up here, which everybody can expect. You have a number of people that sold off at this point because they bought in at 15 cents. 15 cents up to $2 is amazing. And then you see it level off, which means that it's really fighting this point, which may have a couple of support levels. Let's see, it does have a couple of touch points here. So it has basically a support level of somewhere around that 80-cent mark. And then you can see this W here, which makes it look like, you do have the couple of touch points with an ascending level of support on that. So you see those touch points, which indicates that it's going to increase. I didn't know it was going to be a rapid increase over the last couple of days, but obviously with word of mouth, it starts to spread. And I already answered that super chat. And that's what you started to see, this rapid increase from about this $1.16 mark all the way up to $2 or $2.01, which is a huge increase. Now, the fact that it's really pulling away from this 200 EMA means that it may continue to be a buy as long as the word of mouth continues to flow. I think that's what's driving this. As you can see, I mean, there's a ton of buying power here. And then when you do have that buying power to where it rapidly increase, just wait until it opens. You're probably going to see a sell-off here a little bit. I don't know if it'll sell off all the way back to this point. I think it'll probably sell off closer to where the 50 MA will be, maybe a little bit lower. That looks like the trend. Sells off to about that point. Yeah, and then goes below the 50 moving average. And then, obviously with word of mouth, it can continue to go. Do I believe that it has long-term potential? I wouldn't say that I believe that it does without looking into news. So if I do look into news, I could probably get a better idea of exactly what ZOM is going to give me. So let me do a full analysis on it, and I'll jot that down on my notes, and maybe we can break some of that stuff down. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. The problem is that all of these are like, I know people want to get into lower price stocks, especially people that are newer. They want to get into lower price stocks, but lower price stocks are very risky because they move at such a high percentage with such a small move. When I first got into penny stocks, I would get into stocks that were like 10 cents. And we didn't have as much buying power, as much say as we did now. And I can tell you that I quickly lost half my money with a quick movement. And that's where it sucks, because if you invest $1,000 into that, expecting it to grow at 100% or 50% or whatever, you're expecting to gain 100%, so move like another $1,000. And it doesn't. It ends up moving the opposite way, like another $500. You just lost $500 very quick. So that's where penny stocks end up getting very tricky. But they are interesting because you can buy a large amount of shares and gain a lot of money. So again, this is not financial advice. This is merely just my opinion. So we have 1,700 people in here. Please hit that like button. Try and get it above 1,000 likes before we end this live stream. I don't know how long this is going to last for. I just wanted to do something on Sunday to really give my predictions. At the end of this, I'll talk about where I believe it's going to be and what I'm looking for next week. And I did create 2 videos. Today I uploaded one on AMC. Yesterday I uploaded one on GME, looking at what happened on Friday and what potentially will happen in the open, the pre-market, things like that. So yeah. Nokia, please. Nokia looked like it hit a wall right here. I mean, you had one day to where it hit a wall and completely decreased over the next day. So you have that. Hopefully you don't hear this stomping up there. It looks like it's really trying to pull away a little bit, but it's just not giving you those days of positivity. You don't really have the volume that's going into this. You would expect to have the volume, but you don't. So you see the overall look of it, and it is decreasing. It's going below the 200 EMA, which means that it's maybe time to sell. And that's obviously not good for a lot of people. So the problem with that is that I don't know how highly shorted that was. Highly shorted Nokia was. Was it shorted, or was it just a adrenaline stock? I don't see anything here. Because that came up out of nowhere. I was mainly talking about AMC and GME, but I don't think this is I don't think that's a highly shorted stock. So it's not something that we can look for a huge squeeze in. It was mainly just a pump. A lot of people pumped it and then they dumped it. That's what I'm looking at for Nokia. It may be a longer term play because it is above, I believe, where it was. So $4.16. So it is above that point, those lower points, but it's only slightly above. It basically went back to normal before this large jump. So Nokia is not something that's a buy in my opinion. Yes, Nokia isn't shorted. GME is still 120% short. You think that they're still 120% short? I can't wait to see that news, because if that's the true news behind it, then this stock is going to skyrocket. And a lot of people think that, you know, it's going to push that 500 mark. Like I said, I have an expectation of over 300, but my sell point is around that $96 mark, and I want to stick by my profit targets. It makes me feel disciplined. Great videos. Any thoughts of SPCE, the short interest and possible squeeze? I'm up 200% so far. Also, too many people selling GME at 100 for it to go up. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's definitely a firm, wall at like that 95 to 100 mark. There's a lot of people that are selling there because people got in at 50 and they want to make basically double their money, right? And they're going to sell at that $100 mark. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. I believe it will pass that wall, just because, you know, you're going to have a lot of people that are interested on the way up, and a lot of people like to chase the stock. And if they do, then we're going to continue to see a push. We are going to see a sell-off if it is a rapid increase, but what we like to see is the slower increases, maybe rapid in succession. So you just have a couple of pull-ups and pull-back downs, but either way, the ascending support level, you do have an ascending support level and ascending resistance level, and that's what we're hoping for. So any thoughts on SPCE? Spice. Like I said, I'll be shortchanging you on this analysis, but it does look like the trend is up. You do have an ascending level of support here. Come on, not a horizontal line. I don't want a horizontal line. What are you doing, Matt? Delete all. Okay, you do have a couple of touch points. Couple of touch points here. So it's moving, and you definitely have interesting movement here. So you have days that are up, and obviously with those days that are rapidly up, you're going to see days that are rapidly decreasing. That's what's happening. But the interesting thing is that they're rapidly increasing days or decreasing days, but on an upward trend. So this is very interesting, especially being above that 200 EMA line. I always like to see it above that, where you can make a long-term buy if that's what you're looking to do. If you're up 200% so far, then continue to push along. It doesn't look like something that's going to be a crazy squeeze. It looks like something that is slowly increasing. Yes, rapidly increasing during the day, but slowly increasing as time goes on throughout time. It's not something that you're seeing a 50% return on. You're seeing, a 10%, 20%. Where are we actually at? Maybe you're seeing a good percentage return from here to here. So yeah, you're seeing a lower percentage, 20% return really. So yeah, I don't think it's something that you're going to see a crazy squeeze with. I think it's something that's moving up based on word of mouth and popularity, and that's what's happening with this. And it's continuing to push up. It's moving along that 50 moving average line while pulling away from the 200 EMA. After that cross, you could have seen that this is definitely going to pull up, because it's pulling away, slowly pulling away from the 50 moving average. So yeah, it's interesting. And that's just a very quick, not really detailed information of SPCE, and that does seem interesting. So I'll keep an eye on that one. I'll have to organize these a little bit more, but some of these might be coming off. I know Blackberry had a huge, well, not huge, but had a good day on Friday, which is always a good sign for Blackberry because they were down quite a bit. And you know, to have that increase from $11 all the way up to something that's $13, and even increase in the after hours market is definitely good. You see that cross, it's pulling away, it's starting to come back, which means that it's starting to level out. So yeah, we have 1,700 people in here. Please hit that like button, get it above 1,000 likes. That would be amazing. Thoughts on GEVO? Now remember, this is supposed to be a lot of, and remember, this is not financial advice. This is merely just my opinion. This is one day that we're looking at. Friday looked pretty flat, and it was kind of flat, down 1%. Started at, you know, right here, pretty much ended at right here. So it's pretty flat, right? If we look at it long term, let's go ahead and look at the 10,000 foot view. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. 10,000 foot view, it does have a rapid increase from basically this point all the way back here, pulling away from the 200 EMA, and it's starting to come back. But you're seeing that trend upward. The thing that I'm seeing is a lot of rapid increases with rapid pullbacks, which I sometimes like to see, but you just need to time it the right way in order to get in. So when you do see this at $14.49, that may be a wall that it might hit, the next big wall that you will have when it does get up there, but you will see some sort of an increase, probably a decrease to start with, maybe get down closer to where this bottom is, create a double bottom, and then it will increase. So that would be my idea of where it would be. But it's very tough to say exactly where this long term will be because who knows how much hype is into this stock here. So yeah, hopefully that helped out. Not a bot, just hoping he sees. Well, I seen it. There's a lot of times where I don't see things like that, but I seen it. It had a lot of news. What's it? Because, you know, we're on a delay. So whatever I'm talking about, I might be talking about something completely different by the time you see it. Doge. Thank you for that $5 super chat, though. I appreciate anybody that sends in a super chat. You guys are amazing. We don't really have the same volume that we usually have, but I appreciate anybody that comes through here. If you could hit that like button, it would be amazing. I love to get likes. YouTube pushes out a lot of things to people when you have a certain amount of likes. You want easy money? Put your money on Brady. I don't know about that. I mean, it really depends where all the money is. I am convinced that the sports industry is 100% rigged. I've been a Saints fan for a long time, ever since I was a kid, and I live in PA, so it's definitely something where people are like, why are you a Saints fan? And mainly, I'll explain that. Mainly it's because I loved Joe Horn as a receiver. I played receiver in high school and college, and I loved, you know, watching him play, his route running and everything like that. And that was the first team that I've ever seen play football. That's why I love them. So Bloomberg data shows that percentage of float is 177% and GME is 10% for AMC. That's interesting. I need access to Bloomberg. I should. I feel like all of these sites, they may be skewed, you know, but I can't go into things like that. Like I keep thinking about manipulation and all this stuff, and you see all of the signs of manipulation, but I don't want to say that things are manipulated because then it makes me question the markets. It makes me question everything, you know? Glad I found you. Very informative, honest. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think that. I can tell you that I do not have all the tips and every single trick in the book. I mainly try and use a simple method. A lot of times I will use the pullback method, which I did do a video on. Definitely check my list of recent videos. I have a pullback method that I use a lot of times, and it's easy to use. You really just use any type of indicator that you want it to pull back, and then I do, yes, NOLA shirt, yes, that's what I'm all about. But I do use an indicator to pull it back, and I'll set a profit target, a loss target, and if I hit that loss target, I'm out and I lost for the day. I don't trade anymore, or I might do one more. But if I hit a profit target, then I'm good. Then that means that no matter if I lose the next couple of days hitting my loss targets, I still made money out of the deal. So there's always that. You always have to figure out a lot of stuff there. Let me see, what are your tips for a beginner in stocks? It depends what you're looking for. Are you looking for stocks to be a long-term gainer for you, something that you can make a lot of money from by investing in these positions long-term, year after year after year? Or are you looking for something that's more of a job, more of like a day trader or swing trader? Because this is where people get it messed up. They think that being a trader is investing. It's not investing. A lot of times you really don't go off the news, because news might affect it in a negative or positive way, even if it isn't a positive thing. So that's what you don't do. But if I had to give you any tips for a beginner in stocks, if you're looking to invest, look for something that has long-term potential. Go with a lot of the things that have news involved with it. Invest into mutual funds. Make sure you put your money into different areas. I would suggest opening a Roth IRA, contributing to that first, and then being able to invest within that Roth IRA, whether it is in a mutual fund or a different position, or you're putting it into stocks as well. You can split all of those things up and have that long-term growth in your Roth IRA, gain the money, and then you don't have to pay any taxes on it, basically when you retire. So that's what I would suggest you go with. But you also have a brokerage account to where you want to make some money with, short-term money with. But you need to understand the bits and pieces of the market before you can just jump into trading. You want to understand things like what the heck is a candlestick? You want to understand things like, how does news affect the stock price? How does the presidency affect the stock price? You want to know of things like that. There's a lot of things that you need to take in, and you want to start with the little things. Understanding terminology is probably the first step to investing and trading. And you don't need to understand everything. It's about understanding your strategy. What stock viewing interface is this? This is Webull. I have a link down in the description to sign up for Webull. If you sign up for it, use my link and deposit $100, you get free stocks with that platform. So you can download this if you go into the Webull desktop version. If you go on the site, and then you go to downloads, you can download Webull for whatever you have, Mac, PC, whatever you have. You don't need to know anything, just jump on GME. That's not the way that you should go about it. This is not trading, this is more or less gambling. And if you want to know more about trading, it's very simple to learn some of these terms and definitions behind a lot of it. Yeah, so most of you got screwed the last week, get out. If that's your opinion, I definitely take everybody's opinion. I thought that was somebody I knew up there. Sorry, I see a lot of comments. I'm trying to look at all the comments. I don't do options, but if that's your opinion, by the way, where you need to get out, then definitely take your opinion and do what you speak of. Get out of the position, and some people are comfortable with where they're at, and let them. If they make a mistake, then let them make a mistake, because you learn from those mistakes. What do you trade on Webull? What do you trade on? Yes, that's Webull. This is the Webull platform, which I didn't even know about until recently. I didn't know that they had this this platform that's absolutely phenomenal. It gives you everything that you would need in order to day trade, swing trade, long-term invest, understand exactly where the market is moving, draw trend lines, draw support and resistance levels. You have a lot of different things that you can factor into this platform and get a lot of information so that you can trade effectively and make money. So yeah, this is a Webull platform, link down in the description. Sign up and you get free stocks. Well, you sign up and deposit $100, then you get free stocks. What stocks would I get for free at Webull? You can get any stocks. It can range from, mainly it's the lower tier stocks. Recently, I've been getting a lot of AT&T. So mainly you'll get the lower tier stocks. There's some people that will get a stock valued up to $1,600, I believe, or $1,400. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but you can get a stock that's valued to $1,600. I mean, that's an extra $1,600. Even if you don't get it and you get something that's valued at $9, that's an extra like $18 that you didn't have by signing up for something. And all it has to do is clear, then you could take that money out and put it into something else. So, and then you could also talk to your family and friends and get them to sign up, and then you also get free stocks as well. So there's a lot of times where I'm getting a lot of free stocks because people are signing up, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Everybody really helps me out, even though I get tax returns from I have to pay taxes on that money. Charting software does Perry use? It's Webull. That's what we've been talking about. This is Webull. If you go onto the Webull website, you can use the link down in the description, sign up, get free stocks after you deposit $100. I thought you were going to say, I thought someone said, why do you blink so much? I blink a lot. I'm always thinking, and typically when you blink, you're thinking a lot, and that's what I do. I'm always blinking. If you notice in my videos, I blink a ton. But they wanted me to look at BLNK, which is blink charging. If I had to look at this from a 100,000 foot view, it comes and goes, really. It does have a slow increase, more of a bowed slow increase when it comes to this. And you see new highs and new lows that they're creating every single time. New highs, new lows, new highs, new lows. Probably close to it, but a new low. So you can expect that on the way up. Now, I don't know how long this will actually increase depending on what the value of the company is. But looking at it at a quick glance, looking at the new highs, new lows, you probably have a couple more that you're going to be looking at. So just a quick analysis without even taking really anything into account. You have these ascending level of supports here. You gotta maybe that touch point's out of point. Let's go ahead and take that out and add another touch point. See what this touch point is. You got a couple of touch points here, and it looks like it's ascending. So you're going to see price increase from here on out. You do see a low here which it created, and it's going to increase probably over this $64 mark. It might take a little bit of effort to push above that. But not too much. From history, it doesn't look like it takes too much effort to go above the new highs. This one probably a little closer than you would like, and they started to get a lot closer comparatively, because you look at this and you obviously had a very big gap to where you thought that you would have a new high here and a new low created. Which you do have the new low, you just don't have a new high that was created there. So interesting position. I definitely see it as a slow grower. It doesn't hurt to get in, somewhere close to this, but it keeps crossing. No, it's not crossing over. I thought it was crossing over, but it's staying away from the 50 MA line. It's not something that's pushing below it. It is getting close right here, but that's been the trend. So interesting position. All right, well, I think I'm going to go 2 minutes. This is the last 2 minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. Thank you to everybody that stopped by. I'm going to quickly go through popular right now. I'm going to quickly go through AMC and GME just as a high level of things. I mean, we really need to see exactly what's going on with these with Tuesday. Hopefully we can see Monday increase. Now, they are off the SSR list, which doesn't really affect them too much. It just makes it easier for them to short these positions and bring that price down. We don't know what manipulation is actually happening. Hopefully we have buying power, but I bought all the shares that I wanted to buy pretty much. Yeah, and in Webull, I bought all the shares I wanted to buy. So we really need to see exactly what's going to happen. The same thing with GME on Tuesday. Hopefully on Monday we can see a price increase with the fact that let's go to 1 day. With the fact that we did see an increase over the after hours market of 4% is definitely a great sign. Bringing this up to $72, obviously starting to taper off down to about $63 $66 where it finished. So it's up from where it closed at. That's always a good sign. I just hope in the pre-market that it does push above that $100 mark, because if it does, like I said, I'm at that $96 mark to where I want to gain something out of the long-term hold. And I understand it's not long-term over a year's time. It's long-term for me because I typically don't hold overnight. This has been the first time I've held overnight. I got the Bucks, not the Chiefs. I don't want to see Andy Reid got enough Super Bowls. I think someone from our division, from the New Orleans Saints division, deserves it. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for everybody stopping by. I know it's not the same amount of viewers that we got, but I appreciate every single person that stops by. If you can get this to 1,000 likes, please get it to 1,000 likes. I will stream tomorrow. I just got approval from, well, kind of approval. I just have to bring up something to see what's going on, because recently I've been getting up really early to work and then also, you know, stream and then work some more afterwards. So there's a lot of, you know, if, ands, or buts, but I'm gonna stream tomorrow, and hopefully I can give you some live price action. I don't know what time yet, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure you enjoy the rest of the videos that I'm posting. I am posting an analysis on OCGN if you're interested in that. It's a very quick analysis. I want to dive into a lot of these different things, and as time goes on, I'll add some news and all that stuff. But yeah, thank you. I'm amazing. I appreciate that. That's what someone said there. I'm not saying I'm amazing, you know, kind of toot my own horn. That's what it sounded like. I was reading a comment. Thank you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get out of here, so I'll catch you guys